Shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, these are some of the numerical problems from centrifugal pumps. This is the first question. The diameter of an impeller of a centrifugal pump at the inlet and outlet are 36 centimeters and 72 centimeters respectively. The velocity of flow at outlet is 2.4 meter per second and the vanes are set back at angle of 45 degrees at outlet. Determine the minimum starting speed if the manometric efficiency is 70%. And you know that the flow in a centrifugal pump, so that is in radially outward direction. So from the inlet to the outlet, if you consider the diameter at inlet of the impeller is 36 centimeters, that is D1. The smaller diameter will be the inlet diameter, and the bigger one, that is external diameter, is the outlet diameter. Whereas in the case of Francis turbine, it is just the reverse. Okay, so here D1 is 36 centimeters and D2 is 72 centimeters. Convert that into meters before substitution. So D1 is 0.36 meters and D2 is 0.72 meters. And the velocity of flow at outlet, that is VF2. VF2 is 2.4 meter per second. The vanes are set back at an angle of 45 degrees at the outlet. See, vanes are set back means vanes are curved back. So this is the case of backward curved vane. And we already know that most of the centrifugal pumps are mounted with backward curved vanes. So the vane angle or blade angle at outlet, that is 45 degrees. Usually we denote it by phi. Manometric efficiency, which is the ratio of manometric power to the impeller power or oiler power, that is 70%, which is 0.70. We have to find out the minimum starting speed for commencing the discharge at delivery exit. So in the case of centrifugal pump, there is always a minimum starting speed requirement for commencing the discharge. If that speed is not attained, then the problem is the impeller will simply rotate, but there will not be any discharge coming out. So the discharge of liquid will commence only when the impeller runs at a certain minimum speed, which we call as minimum starting speed. Okay, we have to find out that. So if you want to express the U2 in terms of the diameter and the RPM, then you know that U2 is equal to pi D2N by 60. But in this case, when you substitute U2, it is pi D2N minimum by 60, because here we are referring to the minimum starting speed. See the equation which we studied the other day. See, I provided some lectures also for this. N minimum starting speed in terms of manometric efficiency, world component of velocity at outlet VW2, and the impeller diameters at inlet and outlet D1 and D2. So we have N minimum is equal to 120 eta mano into VW2 D2 divided by pi into D2 square minus D1 square. But this is not the case of a direct substitution, because here the world component of velocity VW2 is not available, but flow component is available. This is the velocity triangle at outlet for the backward curved vane, and if you consider tan phi from this triangle, if you take tan phi, this is the opposite side, VF2. Adjacent side is this much. See this. So if you take tan phi, it is VF2 divided by this adjacent side is U2 minus VW2. For the complete side of this triangle is U2, and out of which this much is VW2. So this portion, see what I'm indicating by the mouse cursor. So that is U2 minus VW2. So tan phi is equal to VF2 divided by U2 minus VW2. So tan phi, which is in this case tan 45, that is equal to VF2 is available. Velocity of flow at outlet is 2.4 meter per second. But we do not know both U2 and VW2. So let it be as it is. So tan 45 is equal to 2.4 divided by U2 minus VW2. So what is U2 minus VW2 then? 2.4 divided by tan 45. So tan 45 is 1. So therefore 2.4 by 1 is 2.4 itself. So U2 minus VW2. So that is equal to 2.4. Now what you're going to do is, see, this is the expression we obtained. VW2 is equal to U2 minus 2.4. And what is U2? U2 is pi d2n by 60, but in this case n happens to be n minimum. So pi d2 diameter at outlet is 0.72 meter into n minimum divided by 60 minus 2.4. VW2 is equal to, if you simplify this part pi into 0.72 by 60, that is 0.0377 n minimum minus 2.4. Let it be equation number 1. So we got an expression for VW2 in terms of n minimum. Now come back to the original expression we derived for n minimum the other day in terms of manometric efficiency VW2, D1 and D2. See, this is that expression. So n minimum is equal to 120 eta mano into VW2 into D2 divided by pi into D2 square minus D1 square. So in this case, D1, D2 and eta manometric efficiency are available. What we have to substitute is VW2, the expression for VW2. See, that is labeled as equation 1. So that you can substitute over here on the right hand side. So n minimum is equal to 120, eta mano is 0.70 into, instead of VW2, just I am going to substitute this expression 0.0377 n minimum minus 2.4. So instead of VW2, we have this expression into D2 is 0.72 divided by denominator pi into D2 square minus D1 square, that is pi into 0.72 square minus 0.36 square. So if you simplify the numerator, what you can get? N minimum is equal to 49.515 into 0.0377 n minimum minus 2.4. So n minimum is equal to 1.8667 n minimum minus 118.836. So just this algebraic manipulations will give you a linear equation, and n minimum is there on both sides. And if you simplify that, 0.8667 n minimum is equal to 118.836. So n minimum is equal to 118.836 divided by 0.8667. So that is equal to 137.11 RPM. This is also on minimum starting speed required by the centrifugal pump to commence discharge at the delivery exit. The diameter of an impeller of a centrifugal pump at inlet and outlet are 30 centimeters and 60 centimeters respectively. So inlet diameter D1 and outlet diameter D2, inner and outer diameters are given. Then determine the minimum starting speed of the pump if it works against a head of 30 meters. Actually, it is 30 meters. So it works against a head of 30 meters. So the total head against which the pump has to work, you know that is manometric head. So this problem is straightforward, in fact, but primarily you have to make use of the original condition for the minimum starting speed rather than the equation we derived for the minimum starting speed in terms of VW2, manometric efficiency and the impeller diameters. We will use the original condition for minimum starting speed, the limiting case. What is that condition for minimum starting speed? Centrifugal head developed. So that will be greater than or equal to the manometric head. So U2 square minus U1 square by 2G, that must be greater than or equal to manometric head HM for commencing the discharge at the delivery exit. And the limiting condition is this: at least U2 square minus U1 square by 2G must be equal to manometric head. So use that condition. So what is it? U2 is pi D2 n minimum by 60. U1 is pi D1 n minimum by 60. 1 by 2g into pi D2 n minimum by 60 square minus pi D1 n minimum by 60 square, that is the manometric head. So 1 by 2g into pi by 60 and n minimum square. So that is common from both of these terms can be taken out. What remains inside the bracket is d2 square minus d1 square, and that is equal to hm. You will understand all the terms apart from n minimum square to the right hand side. Then you will get n minimum squared. N minimum squared is equal to 2ghm by d2 square minus d1 square into 60 by pi whole square. So you can calculate now. So 2 into 9.81 into hm is 30 meters. Remember, head is in SI unit, that is meters. Then divided by the diameters given in centimeters, 60 centimeter and 30 centimeter. D2 is 0.6 meter, D1 is 0.3 meter. Okay, so of course you can substitute the values given and you get n minimum square, that is 7,95,168.649. that is n minimum square. Take the square root of that, so you'll get n minimum as 891.72 rpm, the minimum starting speed to commence the discharge of the liquid at the delivery exit. In this case, a centrifugal pump is running at 1000 rpm and working against a head of 20 meters. The rate of flow through the pump is 0.2 meter cube per second. See, whenever the discharge of this kind is given, you should be able to understand the magnitude of that, how big it is. 0.2 meter cube per second. See, that definitely means 0.2 into 1000, that much liter per second. So 0.2 into 1000, that is 200 liters per second. So 200 liters per second. See, for domestic purposes, we normally use pumps which have discharge in the range of 1 to 2 liter per second. Okay, the practical feasibility is a real concern when we solve these kind of problems. You should be in a position to comment on the answers also. And it's not that you know an equation, you substitute the values and get an answer and present that, and you have to understand whether such a value is practically feasible or acceptable. Okay, so we'll proceed now. The discharge is given, the rated rpm is 1000. Operational speed of the centrifugal pump impeller here is 1000 rpm, and it works against a head of 20 meters. So when it works against a head of 20 meters, definitely that is the manometric head, and the rate of flow through the pump is 0.2 meter cube per second, 200 liters per second it is. The outlet vane angle of the impeller is 45 degrees. See, the outlet vane angle, that means phi is equal to 45 degrees. The velocity of flow at outlet, again, just like the very first problem we solved, here velocity of flow at outlet Vf2, that is given. Vf2 is equal to 2.5 meter per second. If the manometric efficiency of the pump is 80%, eta mano is 80%, calculate the diameter and width of the impeller at outlet. So it's typically a design problem where the diameter at outlet D2 you have to calculate, and the width of the impeller or breadth of the impeller B2. So D2 and B2 are the unknowns. What you can do now is you start from the velocity triangle, outlet velocity triangle, get an expression for phi. So tan phi is equal to Vf2 divided by U2 minus Vw2. So tan 45 is equal to 2.5 divided by U2 minus Vw2. So U2 and Vw2 both are unknown. So we will get an expression, that's all. So U2 minus Vw2, that is 2.5. Okay, so that is the expression you will get. The difference between U2, tangential velocity of the vane at outlet, and the whirl velocity of the liquid at outlet. So U2 minus Vw2 is equal to 2.5. Let it be equation number 1. Now we will proceed from the manometric efficiency expression. So manometric efficiency is the ratio of manometric power to the Euler power or impeller power. Impeller power is rho q g h e, where h e is equal to Vw2 U2 by g, and manometric power is rho q g h m, and rho QG will be common. So manometric efficiency can be expressed in terms of these two head ratio. I mean these two heads also, the ratio of manometric head to the oiler head or impeller head. So HM divided by HE, so you can make use of that, and HM divided by VW2 U2 by G. Most of the centrifugal pumps, unless otherwise specified, VW1 is equal to 0. So therefore, oiler head is VW2 U2 by G. So in this simple expression for manometric simple expression for the manometric efficiency of centrifugal pump with whirl velocity at inlet is equal to 0. That is given by eta mano is equal to GHM divided by VW2 U2. So manometric efficiency is 0.8. and that is equal to GHM divided by VW2 U2, and HM here is available, that is 20 meters, and gravitational acceleration G 9.81 into 20 divided by VW2 U2 is equal to 0.8. So if you know this expression, you can get an expression for VW2 U2. So we will not be able to separate VW2 and U2, so we'll get the product of VW2 U2, that is equal to 245.25. Please verify these calculations. So the product of VW2 U2 we got now. Let it be equation number 2. VW2 U2 is equal to 245.25 and U2 minus VW2 is equal to 2.5. So what you can do here is, from the first expression you can get VW2 is equal to U2 minus 2.5 and substitute that value of VW2 in the second expression or second equation, and then you will be able to get an equation, a second degree equation in terms of U2. Okay, so VW2 is equal to U2 minus 2.5 from the first equation, and substitute that in this second equation. VW2 U2 is equal to 245.25. So U2 minus 2.5 into U2 is equal to 245.25. So you'll get this quadratic equation in terms of U2, so in which the variable is U2 alone. So U2 square minus 2.5 U2 is minus 245.25 is equal to 0. So it's of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, a not equal to 0. So quadratic equation in which the variable is u2. So we can find out, of course. So solve the quadratic equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So either use the equation solver in your calculator, or you can use your x is equal to the variable here is minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2 times a. Considering the quadratic equation as ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Here a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 2.5, c is equal to minus 245.25. Take care of the negative signs and get the values of x1 and x2 here. So one value is 16.9603 and the other value is negative. So we will not accept the negative value for the u2. So we will take the positive value. So here the variable here is u2. So u2 is equal to 16.9603 meter per second. So we will use that. And then how do you find out the next one? The next unknown, in the sense VW2, if you want to find out, VW2 is equal to u2 minus 2.5. That is our equation number 1. So substitute the value of u2 in that, you will get VW2. So VW2 will get 14.46 meter per second. So that is VW2. But rather we require the value of u2, because from u2 you can get the diameter of the impeller at outlet. Since the rated RPM or the operational speed of the pump is given as 1000 RPM, so of course you are in a position to find out the diameter of the impeller at outlet, or external diameter of the impeller here. So u2 is equal to pi d2n by 60. d2 you can obtain from this. u2 is equal to pi d2n by 60. 16.96 is equal to pi d2 into 1000 by 60. Diameter you can find out as 0.324 meters. So 32.4 centimeters. Discharge is given by pi d2 b2 vf2 or pi d1 b1 vf1. Since we are dealing with the outlet conditions, we know the value of velocity of flow at outlet. and the diameter is known, and the discharge is available 0.2 cubic meter per second. So we are in a position to find out the breadth of the impeller at outlet. So 0.2 is equal to pi into D2 is 0.324 meters into B2, that is unknown here, into VF2 is 2.5 meter per second. So once you substitute this, and you'll get the breadth or width of the impeller at outlet B2, that is 0.079 meters. So that is 7.9 centimeters. Okay then, so with that I wind up. Thank you so much.